Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It is Our Trades back here with another video, guys. We're going to do some brief analysis here on our stock indices, give you some of my thoughts here moving into the start of the week, guys. It is Monday, July the 15th, 2024. And we're going to start here with some of our market headlines. Before we get into it, guys, I just want to ask that you like, comment, subscribe. If you like this content, please make sure to use those affiliate links in the description box below and interact with the video, guys. It really helps out. Okay, so with that being said, let's have a look at some of our index headlines. Top global news of the day. This is from Dow Jones Newswire, Monday at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard. That is now. Dow futures edge higher after Trump assassination attempt. U.S. stock index futures saw a modest rise Sunday night as financial markets reacted to an apparent assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump earlier today at a campaign rally. China's lopsided economy loses steam. The slowdown shows drag from real estate and consumer spending as party leaders gather in Beijing to discuss economic reform. Bitcoin surges and passes $62,000 level after shooting attack on Trump. Bitcoin, which trades around the clock, surged after President Donald Trump was shot, potentially a reaction both to the perceived increased likelihood the Republican will win, as well as a more unstable political environment. Trump's shooting offers test for stock market as investors weigh his election odds now. A dark day in U.S. history will offer a test for financial market participants as they react to an apparent assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. High stakes for investors as Fed tries curing inflation without causing recession. Okay. The seemingly impossible task facing the Federal Reserve and Chairman Jerome Powell is to achieve a decisive victory against inflation without pushing the world's largest economy into a recession, or at least a deep and prolonged one. Okay, guys, regulating tech has gone nowhere. Will AI change that? Breaking up big tech has always been a challenge. Now comes the Supreme Court's dismantling of the Chevron precedent, taking a weapon from regulators. AI could be a wild card. Week ahead for FX, bonds, U.S. data, ECB, China policy statement, U.S. retail sales and industrial output data, a European Central Bank decision, inflation data from the UK and Canada, and China's third plenum are in focus. Okay, guys, so those are some of our top headlines here for the markets. Let's have a look at some of our biggest overnight gainers and losers. Guys, Bitcoin futures jumping up here on the apparent assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. Bitcoin futures currently trading at 62,885. That is coming as news of the former president being grazed in the ear by a want-to-be shooter. Okay, guys, so with that being said, Bitcoin futures trading up over 8.71%. That is up over 8% or over $5,000 on the former president's assassination attempt. Okay, guys, some of our other gainers, we can see that the Russell 2000 is up 15.5 points, up 0 spot. That is 7/7%, guys. Micro NASDAQ is also up here in the overnight session. Micro NASDAQ is up 72.5 points. That is up 0.3%, guys. Micro crude oil, we're up 20 cents here. We're up 0.24%. So those are some of our biggest gainers here in Sunday's overnight session. Looking at some of our biggest losers, corn futures down over 1%. That is down $4.6. Oat futures are also down 0.5%, a little over 0.5%. Copper futures are also down, but looking to rally. Okay, guys, and those are some of our biggest gainers and losers. Something else I've been watching, guys, Japanese yen had a big rally. Just something that I wanted to point out here, guys. Japanese yen up 303 pips from its low that we reached on Monday. So big news here on the Japanese yen currency. Micro gold futures down right now about 0.1%. That is $2.7, $2.70. Micro gold futures have been trading in a range. Okay, guys, so I want to now move to some of our technical analysis, and we're going to move here starting with the Euro futures. We're going to analyze the hourly chart here bar by bar, and a big part of this is going to be from an ICT perspective, guys. So the Euro futures, starting here on Sunday, we're going to read our few hours of candle action here, and we're first going to label this the new week opening gap. So new week opening gap. All right, background, gonna make, I don't know, blue, pink. That's a little bit. Text black. Okay. No, text black. Let's do the background orange. Yeah, new week opening gap. Okay, guys. So the Euro futures with a large new week opening gap here. New week opening gap here on the Euro futures. First candle was a down candle that traded down into about the 25% of a long wick inefficiency here. Second candle here on the Euro futures, looking here at the hourly chart. Second candle, the 1900 candle, is where we reached our low, forming something of a hammer candle. Third candle, we closed above the 2100 candle. We closed above that hammer candle. We then had 4 straight candles in a row as we trade back into that new week opening gap. My idea on Euro futures now moving into the overnight session is we're probably looking at an initial push here to the midpoint of that new week opening gap is what I would expect, and then probably either we continue up to the top of the new week opening gap and move lower, or around the 1/2 point. Okay, guys, so that is some brief analysis here on the Euro futures. I want to move to what everybody cares about, and that is going to be the stock indexes, guys. So NASDAQ, let's bracket out here Sunday's action. So first candle here, black candle, is going to be Sunday's action. We do not have a new week opening gap here on the micro NASDAQ. First candle looks like we came into some sell side liquidity, so just want to briefly here mark that out. Sell side liquidity is ran. Okay, so we have some short-term sell side liquidity here that was run. And then second candle was an inside candle, 1900 candle inside the 1800 candle, 2000 candle, the 8 o'clock candle, again trading inside the initial 1800 candle. Then we got 3 very, very slight candles. Now coming into the 0100 or the midnight candle, the 0100 candle. Just having a look here at our fair value gap that we're currently trading in. My thinking would be as it stands right now, I think that here in the overnight session we're likely to see the NASDAQ trade a bit higher and then come back down and trade lower. That would be my thinking here on the NASDAQ. So I think the NASDAQ is going to come up a bit further and then trade lower. That's what I'm seeing here from a candle-by-candle analysis. So our ATR, something else that I want to point out, guys. Average true range here at 52.68 points. We are on the way down. Market is picking up a little bit of velocity, but I think personally we're looking at an upcoming trading range. I'm not seeing anything here that I would think it's going to rise up to the top of that fair value gap. I think we're probably looking at 20,648.75 or 20,648 3/4 maximum. Although, guys, this is all just one man's opinion. Okay, so let's head over to the micro ES and analyze the few hours of price action that we have coming in for Sunday. First, going to bracket out Sunday's action starting here. So our first initial candle off of the resettlement of the weekend, we have a large sort of ranging candle. I believe that was 18 points. Right, so we had about a 1.5 ATR immediate sell-off as the market reopened. We've paired some of those losses now. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 out of 7 of the past hours have been up. Our ATR is going down here in the overnight session. So our average true range here, or the average volatility or range of a candle, has been coming down as we are in the overnight session. I'm seeing something very similar to what I'm seeing on the NASDAQ, which is, from what I can tell, I'm thinking that we move initially higher here on the S&P 500, and then we come back down. That would be my best guess here of what I'm seeing on the micro ES is come up, trade into that fair value gap, and then trade lower. We do have buy-side liquidity at all-time highs. We have equal highs here basically at 57.08 evens. The market is going to be interested in that. We also have an long inefficient wick inefficiency down below. We have sell-side liquidity located at 5,618.75. So in my personal opinion, what we're going to look at here on Monday, I think for Monday's trading, we're probably looking at what we usually look at on Mondays, which is choppy, sort of indecisive trading. I don't think that Monday is going to bring in a whole lot of action. Guys, I want to briefly bring up something that you should be familiar with, which is the economic calendar. So we have Fed chair testimony on Tuesday, July the 9th. We have Fed chair testimony on Wednesday, July the 10th. And then that's not the right week. I need to bring that forward. July the 5th. Okay, we could get some action. All right, Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaks at 11:30 tomorrow. Retail sales on Tuesday. Building permits coming out on Wednesday. So we might have, just looking at the economic events, we might have some volatility come in here at the start of the week, whereas we usually have it come in at the beginning of the week. We have the Fed Chair speaking tomorrow. We have retail sales, and then we have building permits. So we might have a front-loaded week of volatility just based off of what the upcoming news events. From a technical perspective, what I believe that we're headed into is probably a couple more hours of decreasing volatility. As we approach the market open tomorrow, we get into the pre-market. I think that the market is going to head back south. Personally, I think looking at this fair value gap that we have open here, open here. This is not to mention, guys, that even if you're not looking at the market from an ICT perspective, let's say that you're looking at like a volume profile, or you're looking at some other, information. Guys, notice that we have a lot of price action here. We have a lot of price action around that 56.39 3/4. Guys, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think that the market is going to be attracted to where it found sort of fair value. Notice that we also had a lot of price action here back on Tuesday, the 9th of July. So lots of price action right around that 56.40. You're looking at a volume profile. Your point of control is going to be around 56.40 right now. That's where most of our volume, I guarantee you, has been put in. But in addition to that, we had a lot of volume or a lot of trading around that 56.82. So I think in the overnight session, we're probably going to drift to about 56.85. And then I think that we're going to start trading lower. That's what I'm seeing on the NASDAQ, and that's what I'm seeing on the micro ES as well. Okay, guys, let's have a look at the Dow. Briefly looking at the Dow here, let's take a look at where Sunday's action starts. Okay. So first candle off the rip on Sunday is a down black candle. Want you to notice that we have a lot of market inefficiencies or just wick trading basically. So if you were using a volume profile, this area right here is inefficient or a low volume node. I think that we're looking at something of a balanced price range here up to the north. So up in the north, I think that we're seeing, same story across the board, guys. I believe that the market is going to rise here in the pre-market and then probably trade lower. Would be my best guess coming into Monday. Okay, guys, so that is my analysis here of the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the micro ES. I want to briefly get into the Russell 2000 here, guys, because I did take a little bit of a trade on this earlier. Looking at the micro Russell, I really like the idea of taking a short here. We have a lot of you know, looking at our hourly chart here, notice that our first candle, we did have a new week opening gap here on the micro Russell. So we start with a spinning top indecisive candle that gaps above last week's prior action. Second candle is a trending candle closing near its high, coming in on this ICT rejection block to the left. Third candle, basically an inverted hammer candle, inside candle that is, I think that's going to be smaller than our average true range. So, you know, the market is contracting in its volatility as we're in the overnight session, guys. So noticing our average true range. The 2100 candle closes again right near its high. We're coming into the upper tail or the wick of the Friday, July 24th, the 10 o'clock candle. So we're coming into that. Get another small upward trending candle coming on the 22-hour. Starting to see some weakness here on the 2300 candle. And then we get a small inside candle on the midnight candle as we start the new 24-hour financial day. So in terms of the Russell 2000, I think there's a chance that we pop above that high and then move lower. Or, guys, we could just be looking at the market moving lower. We do have a hole or a gap in the chart. So personally, I'm looking at holding on to a short here on the Russell. This is real money. That is, in fact, a live trade. It's a very small one, but nevertheless, it is, in fact, a real trade. And so I think I'm probably just going to leave this running overnight, see how it plays out, put in a stop loss. I think that this trade, you know, maximum goes up to about 2187, and then we start falling lower. Looking at the 4-hour chart, you know, that looks really juicy to me. 4 overlapping wicks, no candles, up after a large and sustained, really an unsustainable move higher. Personally, I'm liking this trade a lot, so we're going to put in a stop loss. And that's going to do it, guys. That's going to be my trade for the overnight session. Is we're going to have a short on the... We're going to have a short here on the Russell 2000. And I'm going to put the take profit there where you see it. We're going to move that stop loss right about there. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you for joining me. Just did some brief analysis of the markets, and we will talk to you soon.